way it ended, was there any resentment on your part with how it ended here in Golden State?
Nah, it's a business. So really, I'm just taking it day by day. I mean, it don't matter about the jersey. I mean, it's basketball at the end of the day. So I'm just trying to get better. I don't care about the other stuff.
And right before Jordan Poole played against the Warriors, like a week and a half ago, Steve Kerr said something along the lines of like, I've been there, I played for 6 NBA teams, and I've noticed that when a player comes back and plays his old team, he really wants to kick their ass. So I expect Jordan to come out and have a good game. Do you have the same sentiment? Do you want to come out and have a good game against some of the guys you used to go to war with?
The same mindset. I want to win. So, I mean, I'm trying to get a win for the team. You know, we've been like having a lot of hard times down this stretch, but just trying to get a win. That's what I'm worried about. So,
do you still keep in contact with anyone on the team? And if so, who do you have a relationship still with?
Really everybody. Yeah, really everybody. So I can't wait to see them. But at the same time, I want to win. So that's my mindset.
What do you think you've grown the most since that trade? Sorry, I'm blinding you.
You good? I say really just my defense and just being able to stay active. Me as a player, running the floor, getting rebounds, really just focusing on the small details of my game. I feel like that's going to make a difference.
Steph said last night that he, right after the game, he watched the last 6 minutes of the game before coming in here even. What did you do after the game?
I did the exact same thing.
And what did you see and what did you think?
I thought it was a combination of Denver playing a perfect 6.5 minutes, making big plays, couple corner threes from guys who, maybe you wouldn't expect, some offensive boards, a couple of, buckets from Jokic. They played perfect basketball the last 6.5, and we didn't, obviously. We had some breakdowns defensively. We had a couple of offensive possessions that went stagnant, and it was kind of a perfect storm.
Steve, kind of along the same lines as Monty, is it hard for you to get over a loss like that, or does it help the fact that at least, like baseball, you get to come back and play again quickly?
It helps to play again quickly, but, yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of sleep last night, I can tell you that. That's about as tough a loss as I can remember since I've been here. But this is part of the NBA. You go through the 82, and there's just nights like this where you can't believe what just happened. So we got to quickly move on, get our energy up. Detroit is playing much better these last couple of weeks. They've got a lot of talent. Bogdanovich coming back is a huge boost to them, and we're going to have to go out and get our energy right from the start.
Steve, two-part question for you. Excuse me. First is, James is back here tonight with Detroit. How do you reflect on his time with the Warriors?
Love James. Wonderful person and talented young player. And I wish that it had gone better. Obviously, he suffered the injury, but I think it was also a case of just having so little experience and then joining what became a championship team. It's interesting looking back on that year. We had the worst record in the league, and we had guys injured. I'm not sure we knew we could still win a championship. And then those next couple of years, obviously we were able to climb back to the top of the mountain. It was just very difficult for James to try to penetrate that lineup and that sort of dynamic that existed within the organization. So he's just a wonderful young guy, and I'm pulling for him all the time.
As you said, kind of interesting context of when he arrived and stuff. And for you as the coach of this team, I think he was really your first young, raw player to be able to shape and mold. How have you as a coach grown and developed, with coaching younger, less experienced players?
Yeah, we've really worked hard to try to simulate decision making. That's the biggest thing that I think we're seeing with young players like that who don't have a lot of experience. Everything is about decision making at both ends. And so I think what we've really learned and what we've been able to incorporate over the last couple of years is a lot more decision making simulation to try to give these guys the reps that they need, because it's just different from the old days when or a kid like Trace, who has 4 years of college. All that practice and all those reps helps a guy like that be more prepared. So most of the league is now entering at a very young age, and I think all the coaches around the league are really trying to get better in terms of teaching that decision making.
Steve, J.K. was playing pretty well last night, so I'm wondering, what was the rationale for him not returning after the midway third quarter? I mean, I think he played 19 minutes.
Yeah.
He was of all the starters. What was the thinking behind it?
He was playing great, but we had another group that came in playing great. So I think when J.K. went out, we were down 1, and then we finished the quarter strongly, so we stayed with the same group. Actually, no, I think we made a couple subs to start the fourth, but we went on a quick run and got up to 18, and Wiggs was playing really well. He had a couple buckets, but he was guarding Murray, and to be perfectly frank, it came down to a decision of just sticking with Wiggs because I thought he was doing a good job. At the end of the game, I look at the box score and I'm like, J.K. only played 18 minutes. Like that's I got to get him out there for longer. But these are really difficult decisions because it's not just as simple as how many minutes a guy plays. It's who's playing and what's the combination, what's happening in the game. There's only 5 spots, and we have, I've said this over and over again, we have a lot of people who are very capable of being out there. But the way the game was flowing, I decided to stay with the group that was there.
Well, to follow up, Kuminga apparently had some thoughts. Any heart-to-hearts between you and him between then and now headed into this matchup, or coaching perspective to give as a response to his apparent thoughts?
We talked, obviously those things are better discussed behind the scenes. Anytime something like that goes public, then it creates, a distraction. And I think, it's important for all of our guys, and I talked to our whole team about it. It's like, if you got an issue, I'm here. I am the most accessible coach in the league probably. My door's always open, and I have players all the time come talk to me, and I encourage it. And it's a difficult situation because every player naturally has his own goals, his own dreams. Everybody wants to flourish. Everybody wants to blossom. And we have a lot of guys who are capable of playing, and I have very difficult decisions to make each and every night. J.K. is a young player who's growing. He's getting better. That's why he's been in the starting lineup. He will continue to grow, and this is all part of his growth.
Then you kind of mentioned it was a Wiggins-Kuminga choice last night. I know you've talked about trying to find combinations where they work together. Where are you on that? Because I know you've sprinkled some out there, but it's still.
Yeah, I mean we would still like to, but we're obviously every game is tight, and we're trying to win every game, and we want to put ourselves in a great position playoff wise. So it's one of the challenges of this season. Really is we're exploring combinations, but at the same time trying to win. And so we don't have, a long time to explore if something's not going well. And at this point, our closing lineups have been different often night after night. And so we haven't been able to kind of find that 1 5-man group that we're just automatically going to go to. And that makes it tricky for the players and tricky for the staff too.
Coach, at this point, this deep into the season, as you're continuing to hammer out your rotation, playing as many guys as you are, does that creep into your mind at all that guys maybe won't be completely happy with the minutes they're seeing in their roles and that something will make its way into public? Do you think about that at all?
Yeah, I played for 15 years, and if all 15, I was frustrated with my playing time. So this is how it works. This is the most competitive, lucrative league in the world. Every team has, 15 to 17 guys who are all dying to play. Everyone's frustrated. And so a big part of being successful in this league is learning how to navigate that frustration, learning how to just constantly put yourself in a position to succeed. And as you grow, as you get better, the more talent the guys have, the more chance they have of really blossoming, especially if they're, handling their business. And that's all part of the modern NBA, is teaching a lot of young guys, how this has to work.
You've said in the past, Steve, that Jonathan's a 4 in your mind. Is that still the case, or is there flexibility in him playing 3? I mean, when you say it was a choice of him or Andrew, was that for the 3, or was it 4 in a smaller lineup? Or
if we played JK at the 3, we'd probably have to have Dario out there as either the 4 or the 5 for spacing. So everything is about the combinations, and so for us, we look at what's going to give us the best chance to survive at both ends and hopefully thrive at both ends. And so spacing is a really big part of that, the modern NBA game especially, and that's why I feel most comfortable playing JK at the 4, because there's more space on the floor for him to operate at that point.
We saw Clay have a couple of hot stretches last night, turn in a really solid shooting game. It looks like Steph's bounced out of his little mini slump, and Clay might be getting there too. What are you seeing from Clay last couple of games?
Looks calmer. He's focused and just making basketball plays, just making the simple play. And that's always the key for Clay. As soon as he starts chasing shots, then he can get a little off kilter. And we're just going to continue to encourage him to keep the game simple.